Hello, James here. Today I'm going to be showing you what it looks like to live stream church in OBS. I'm currently right in the middle of my stream for our church, Miranda Congregational Church, right now for Mother's Day, and I'm just putting this quick recording together to show you what it looks like. So for convenience, I have 3 monitors open, and the countdown's on the clock on one of them, getting ready to start the service at 10 a.m. So I'm just going to quickly pan so you can see what that looks like in the background. So you can see one monitor with Facebook on it, with the stream health to get that set up, and then another monitor off to the side with OBS and the stream settings that have been set up to broadcast to Facebook. And I've also got that third monitor there just to play words. So if I was to just go across and click on that quickly, you should be able to see the words come up in the background, and that helps overlay lyrics for the songs that we do. Now we can just jump on into OBS and my screen recording to show you how it all works behind the scenes. Now we are in OBS. We have the interface of the online broadcasting software, which is what OBS stands for. And what I have are a few slides that I've set up, or a few scenes that I've set up. I have a few scenes that I have set up for the church live stream that I use to help transition through different parts of the service. The first one is the countdown, which also includes Snaz, an app that helps count things down and just or write information to a text file, and that is helpful for running a countdown. So if I drop in, let's say 23:59 and start the countdown, see the countdown show up. And each of the scenes has an element within it, within the sources that links to it. So you can see this is reading from the text file that Snaz is generating with the countdown. I'll show you how to create one of these after I go through all the scenes and also the settings. And then once that's there, you can transition in and it's ready for people to see. I also have a scene that's ready and set up with the kids video. So if I click on that and then transition that in, it will automatically load that video, and that video will come through. I also have my settings so I can hear that audio through my headset, but it won't be coming through into your video. And soundbars help you monitor that. So you can jump into the settings to change that, advanced audio properties, and then change the monitor and output to just monitor off. So then it's silent and I can't hear that through my headphones anymore. And then if you want to turn that back on, you can change it so that you can hear what's going on through the monitor and output tab. I'll turn monitor off so that I don't get distracted during creating this. That transitions there. Then that would finish up and I would transition back into the countdown before the main service starts at 10 a.m. And then I could just go in here and change that between the scene, between each of the segments for the kids in the sermon. And I also have the sermon and lyrics. So what this is doing is I overlay the PowerPoint that I'm going to have to hide just so that it captures the sermon coming through. So that should come up there, and I'm going to quickly change the audio properties back to monitor off so it's not coming through my headset. Then we can see that it's going up and down. And the trick here is that it comes from a pre-recorded video that's pre-edited to be able to just pop it into the stream to help make it go as seamlessly as possible, especially with all the settings that you'll be setting up. So once you set that up, the other thing to consider is if you're doing music, how do you do that? That will be the topic in another video, but the brief solution to that is the PowerPoint slides that I've been using to get the words overlaid, which you will be able to see when you go into filters. There's a color key, so it filters out a particular color, which is black in this case. So the black will be transparent, which means the white text from a PowerPoint slide will be overlaid across the video. And then as we come to the end of the service, we can transition in. And if we look at that, it's as simple as an image file that I've selected from my computer that I can put in, as well as using the text function in OBS. So if I wanted to replicate something like that, I could create a scene by hitting the plus in the bottom left, name it as example. Then I would think about what I need in the sources. So I'm going to add, let's say, an image for the background. So I'd plus in the scenes and add an image and say this would be community around Jesus. I'm going to find a community around Jesus picture, drop that in. Try and figure out why that isn't coming through. When I selected it, I didn't actually select it. So open and make sure you click OK. That's there now. And then you can click and drag to move it around, as well as expand it by dragging on the corners like you would a picture in Word. And then if I right click that and want to center it, I can say transform, center to screen, then that will be in the middle. If I wanted to add some text on top of that, I could add the text from the GDI, and I'm going to add a welcome message. You can experiment with fonts and to figure out what will work best for you. But I'll just do something simple as a welcome. And then I'm going to try align that to the center horizontally to put that in the middle. But looking at that, that looks fairly washed out and unclear. If I move that across, I'm actually going to go back to the example. I'm going to add a shape in to give it a backdrop as well. And I'll do that by selecting color source and say black bar. I'm going to select the color as black. If you know your hexadecimal values and codes, you could customize that. And then that's dropped. It didn't select the color, so I'm going to click that, make sure I selected OK, that it shows up, and click OK. And I will be able to resize that. And if I hold the Alt key, I can also drag it so it clips it. And if I go back and transform and center horizontally, that means it will be there. But all the images are layered, so you can see that the order can be changed in the sources pane. I can drop that behind the welcome text. Then that's a very quick way of doing an outline to help make sure the text comes through clearly, and I could transition that into the scene. And if I wanted to add a video, the plus, go to media, add my media source, say create new. I'm going to go browse. I'm going to look for the media that I've created for different things. So this is going to be the intro video that I've put in to introduce this. So I could say I'm going to add that in, and that will come up first. So that will be the first layer. So it will be what comes up when I hit the transition button, as you can see. But I could actually move the welcome bar above and the black bar above and transition that, and you have the text over the top. And I could also move community around Jesus above that, so I can transition that across as well. So that's the process of setting up a scene to stream. Next, I'll just jump back to the settings and transition that across for the countdown. And I realized I didn't show you how to add a countdown in that, so I'm going to just do that quickly now. So you see in Snaz, when you set that up, which can be its own video, it has a default path where it is put, so I can copy that path to the clipboard and go back to my example. I'm going to add some more text. I'm going to say I'm going to create a new countdown. Read from file is what needs to be ticked. Then I browse and I put the URL in, selected. And open. Then you can see that it's reading that from the file. I can add that in, and I'm going to want to drag that to the bottom and then transform, center horizontally, so that sits there, and I can transition that in. That's how I've quickly made a countdown. And note that when it hits 0, it goes to whatever that text message is. So you can change that and stop it. It will disappear because it's no longer writing to that text file. But now I'm going to get into the details of some of the settings that you need to be able to stream this live on Facebook. So in File, Settings of OBS, you have a variety of menus. What you'll need is your Stream Settings pane, and you'll have to go into Facebook Live to do that, and then look at what the default is, and then you're going to have to get your stream key. To be able to get your stream key, you're going to have to go into your Internet Explorer, open up Facebook, facebook.com/live/producer. I'll include the link in the description, and it will open up to you the pane for live streaming. I'm going to use the example of share to a page I manage. So for this, you need to be the admin of the church page to be able to stream it. I've also got my personal page, so I'll swap to the church. And you should see a window like this. And what you're going to want to try and do is use a persistent stream key for consistency, so you don't have to keep going in and copying and pasting this. And you can go in and copy that stream key, go into your settings, copy it in there, and paste it, and then apply, OK. And then you should be able to click Start Streaming, and it says, you sure you want to start the stream? And I select yes. So the stream has started, but it has not been published to the Facebook page yet. So I can go back to the live producer, get a preview in the bottom right, or if I scroll up, I can see what's coming through. It also means if I jump back into OBS and minimize that, can actually go to a video, transition that one in, minimize that, and open up the browser. And in a moment, when I hit play, you'd see the preview will come up. There'll be a delay of 10 seconds, 30 seconds, maybe even a minute, depending on how your internet speed goes. And then you'll see that the video is coming up and coming through. And I'll now jump into the settings that you need to consider when you have the video in the background. So I'll minimize that, open up OBS again. I'm going to go to settings. I'm going to stop the stream because it doesn't need to be happening currently whilst I look at settings. I go to the settings. I can look at the stream where I was at before. Now I'm going to think about output. Your video bitrate is incredibly important. It is what is going to be going on to get the file from wherever you're streaming from to Facebook Live. What that means is how fast it uploads. To check how fast your upload is, I recommend you go to speedtest.net and run a quick speed test. This will help understand how fast your download speed is and how fast your upload speed is, to be able to help understand what you are going to be able to achieve for an upload speed. 6,000 kilobytes is the maximum that Facebook Live allows for a setting. So you want to make sure, if you're trying to get that as high a quality as possible, that your upload speed is above that. So 6,000 translates to 6 in terms of this. So that is 3 times the speed that I need. So a good guideline is you want to have an upload speed that's 25% faster than what you'd be streaming in, so you've got enough room so that nothing drops out just in case. As well as consider what you're using to encode the video that's going to the streaming service. I recommend thinking about that with the hardware in your computer. Feel free to ask me if you've got more questions about that, and I can provide guidance on it, but I'll just skip along to audio. So the audio, you can select 44.1 or 48 depending on the video file that you made, and that also can be a topic for another video, but that's what's going to be broadcast to everybody. And the video is something that is incredibly important because it's thinking about frame rate, the canvas resolution, which is where you design your scenes, and the output that's scaled. So Facebook accepts that 720p, which is the 2080 by 720, which is what you're going to need to be able to hit it. So I've chosen a base resolution of 1920 by 1080 to downscale it to that. It's the same ratio, 16:9, which is important, but the base canvas affects how it gets displayed. So if I apply this, it's going to change. So see how that changed and goes a little bit funky with the spacing. So that's what happens when you change that resolution. I'm going to go back into my video. I'm going to change the canvas resolution back to 1920 by 1080 so that it's sized nicely. I'm going to jump back into settings. And then you also want to consider how you're recording your video and how many frames per second that's going through at. Yeah, you start streaming, set up, you're ready to check your preview. You can open up your Google Chrome and see that your preview is there, and you can click that go live button to let everyone know on your church Facebook page that you are live and streaming a sermon. It's something you could also use for devotions if you wanted to do that. I highly recommend pre-recording because you know what the content will be and have it trimmed and polished to be able to be presented well. And it also helps reduce one less area of variability where things could go wrong. An example is the first week we tried to do a live stream, I knocked the Ethernet cable out of the laptop that I was using, which meant the stream dropped out for everybody, which is a problem. So we've worked on improving that week by week and trying to think about continuous improvement. So all you have to do to go live is hit that big go live button in the bottom left corner. Thank you for watching along. Please like and subscribe if you found it helpful. I'd also appreciate a comment to let me know how you found it helpful. Most importantly, please do share it with others who could benefit from learning how to stream church services live on Facebook. If you have any more questions, let me know and I can make further videos about them as I seek to try and answer them and help you and equip you do the ministry that you do as best as you possibly can. Goodbye.